All right, we are back, and it's time for us to now have a look at the newspapers, the Daily Nation, the Standard, and also the Business Daily. My name is Beatrice Nudi. This is Hope at Dawn.
Yes, my name is George Gishuru, and we start with the Standard. They go with the headline, "No hiding as KRA spies on your money." Yes.
Wow.
So they're saying digital tax systems faced with increased government spending and limited revenue-generating avenues, President Ruto's cash-strapped government is resorting to aggressive measures to boost revenues. KRA has written to banks and telcos to integrate tax systems to bank accounts and digital money. This in a move that has drawn strong protests over implications on personal data privacy. So you can read that on page 4, and this is quite alarming because also yesterday and the day before yesterday in the Daily Nation they were highlighting how the police are using telcos information to track Kenyans and actually even abduct Kenyans. And so this in terms of personal data privacy when it comes to telcos and mobile phone data is quite something. So 7 million, this is the number of people with KRA PIN numbers, a small number when contrasted with 30 million registered M-Pesa customers transacting billions daily. That's according to President Ruto. So what's happening? You can read that story on page number 4. I also see on the front page, anxiety as Kenya awaits crucial IMF loan decision. So Kenya is anxiously watching the executive board of the International Monetary Fund, which was to sit in Washington yesterday, to discuss a critical multi-billion-dollar loan disbursement that economists warn is crucial for Kenya's economy and could have far-reaching implications for its trajectory and the country's access to international financing. Read that story on the business section of the Standard. That is on page 19. Woman has been seized in hunt for Willis Ayeko's killers. It's a story that you can read on page 8, and if we can go there because it's a story that has grabbed the nation. So a woman has been arrested. Her boyfriend escapes in hunt for Ayeko killers. Police recover what is believed to be Ayeko's pistol after gunfight with 2 suspects. Siaya Court orders the first suspect be held for 21 days and his phone be investigated. So it's a story that is captured on page number 8. Man missing amid rising abduction cases, and this is worrying. It's on page 10. Lawyer missing amid rising fear of abductions against the state critics. Politicians, activists, and lawyers unite in bid to end rising aggression against dissent. They say Kenyans have a right to criticize the state and unpopular policies. So the family of lawyer John Eric Wesonga alias Lavani Milan, together with several activists, have called for his return after he was abducted by unknown people in Ruaka, Kiambu County. But I think I saw one of the activists, human rights activists, saying that he has been released and he's now back with his family. So that is a story that you can read on page 10. Another shocking story here, shock of 97 women killed in 3 months as police pledge to unearth all crimes. So at least 97 women have been killed in 3 months in a move that is now being linked to rising cases of femicide. This was revealed by police yesterday in a briefing that brought together top police bosses led by Directorate of Criminal Investigations boss Amin Mohammed and Deputy Inspectors General Eliud Lagat and Gilbert Masengeli. So about 90% of femicide cases have been thoroughly investigated, resulting in the arrest of suspects, with these cases pending in court. That is Lagat stating on behalf of the Inspector General. Read that story on page 10.
And on the same, actually, has been covered on page 10, which I think this is a major prayer item because, in fact, it says here that 3 women from one family who were murdered in the latest case, sparking protest in Nairobi's commercial hub, Eastleigh. The motive of the triple murders remains unclear. I mean, 97, that's more than 30 women every month being killed in unexplained circumstances, because we are seeing here that the three women are Waris Dawood, 38, Nuseiba Dahir, 12, and Hanis Amina Abirashad, 23, went missing on Monday, October 21st. Then their bodies were discovered hours later with injuries on their hands, neck, and back in Parklands Bahati in Nairobi, and Chumvi, that is in Machakos County. We even have one that is 12 years old here. Older woman at 38, and also, you know, a young adult at 23. Very traumatizing for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's look at other stories. 19 billion has been disbursed to schools as capitation, Senate told. CS tells Senate that delays are caused by head teachers providing wrong information. Schools are required to upload details of all their learners on NEMIS. I also see setback for former IBC boss Oswago as court upholds jail term. You read that as well. Cherargei under fire amid claims most Kenyans back his terms bill. Nandi Senator claims 60% of Kenyans support proposal to extend terms for all elected leaders to 7 years. But MPs dismiss Senator as Lone Ranger and vow to crush proposal in the House. Read that on page 18. Looking at other stories inside the Standard, the business section, Kenya awaiting the crucial IMF loan decision amid revenue worries. Equity Bank unveiled 774 billion shillings post-COVID Africa recovery plan. So that is also a story you can read inside the business section. The world news, Russian operatives are shaping U.S. election issues. Expert warns Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz smeared last week. Russia also conducted a range of influence operations to denigrate Joe Biden's candidacy in 2020. And Rwandan ex-doctor faces verdict in genocide trial. Then brides for cash, suspects arrested. That is in the world news. Then the real estate pullout, banks jittery as demand for detached commercial units drop. CBK report attributes fears to work from home policy, increased online shopping, and reduced earnings due to depressed economy. So you can read that as well. Let's look at the sports pages, and I see here Man United target Amorim, says nothing decided yet. Sporting Lisbon boss has emerged as the clear favourite to replace Ten Hag. He has won 2 Portuguese titles with Sporting since joining the club in March 2020. So you can read that as well. Back page, Southampton reach League Cup quarterfinals. Premier League stragglers. Southampton squeezed into the English League Cup quarterfinals after beating Stoke City 3-2. Yesterday there were other matches. Liverpool, Man United and Tottenham, through Tottenham actually eliminating Manchester City. Newcastle United eliminated Chelsea. Liverpool eliminated Brighton. Man United with their interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy beating Leicester City by 5-2. Bruno Fernandes scored twice, Casemiro twice, and Garnacho scored 1. Dortmund's woes continue with German Cup exit. Dortmund had lost their last 4 matches away from home in all competitions. Stuttgart won 2-1 at home to eliminate last year's finalist Kaiserslautern. So you can read that in the sports pages. And finally, Rumble in the Jungle. Time to remember bout 50 years later. Mamba was just 12 years old when Muhammad Ali fought in Kinshasa. Foreman, an Olympic gold medalist, was the favorite to beat Ali. Read that story on page 37. And that is what is being reported in the Standard.
All right, and coming down to the Daily Nation, I see here it is the D-Day for Gachagua, and the High Court will today decide whether to lift an order blocking the swearing-in of Deputy President-designate Professor Kithure Kindiki as sought by the Attorney General and Parliament. A 3-judge bench will also rule whether the High Court has powers to determine the petition challenging the ouster for Rigathi Gachagua's story on page 6. And the top story story here, what UK, US want from Ruto. And I see here from top, we have a story covered regarding an upgrade of Kenya's security surveillance system and establishment of another US military base, featured in separate talks between President Ruto and foreign intelligence chiefs nation has established. So Central Intelligence Agency, that is the CIA Director William Burns, and Britain's M16 Chief Richard Moore also expressed concerns with abductions and the manner in which state agencies are targeting human rights defenders. That's a story on pages 4 and also 5, which is a very important matter of concern, to be honest, because just because we are having people defending human rights does not give a leeway for the state to abduct them. It is bad. That is dictatorship, or I don't even know what to call it. It is dictatorship. And if at all we want to partner with other countries, I mean, why would they want to be associated with a nation that does not even care about the affairs of its people? So we continue to see how that turns out. And the back page today is talking about the 5.3 billion that has split striking dons and also the state. So unions had called a general strike last month over delayed negotiations and the implementation of salary agreements. That's a story on the back page. And dispute minister says withdrawal of finance bill affected the budget. And page 2 is a very, very sad story. Those who have to go for dialysis are being forced to pay 11,000 each and every week, because even up to now, SHIF is having the so-called teething problems, which are obviously not teething problems anymore. They're saying, stop sending us to our graves early. Chronically ill patients cry over SHIF. And the new health system was rolled out on October 1st, and it has continued to face various challenges since then up to now. I mean, this now looks like a whole plot, because how do you explain that something that had been planned from a long time ago is facing challenges? They said it was teething problems, they said it was challenges at the beginning stages, but now still we are having these complications, and it is really, really sad, because salaries si bado zilikatwa
this month. So they have already deducted. I saw somewhere that they have already disbursed 9 billion to some institutions, health institutions, to cater for the bills that was supposed to have been cleared by NHIF.
Oh my. But still, I wonder where this money has gone to, because still we are having a lot of places that are still demanding for money because the SHIF has problems, and especially those who need dialysis. This is a procedure.
You see, the president was telling Kenyans to be patient and to wait. But how can you be patient when you are chronically ill? How do you wait when you have been involved in an accident and you need medical cover and you have been contributing for these things? You know, some things you can't wait. You really can't. Because this is a sickness. It's not like you have planned for it. If it's something that is planning, I can wait. You're telling us about houses. We can wait for the houses because we can find an alternative. But in terms of your health, clearly there should have been a modality to ensure that even as we transition to SHIF, there was a way NHIF would steal, because this is the same monies that Kenyans are contributing. So why are we having disparities? We shouldn't have that. And especially those who need dialysis each and every week. There are people who have to pay 11,000. And if you don't do that dialysis, I mean, it's really, really, we have interviewed people who have the kidney failures, and imagine you cannot skip dialysis because it's so crucial. So they are crying here, saying that they're being sent to their early graves because now they can't afford the medication. So definitely this is not good at all. There should have been a smooth transition. If anything, then NHIF should still be in play as they work SHIF on the other side. And Mr. Stephen Karanja say, I wonder what we did to offend President William Ruto for him to punish us like this. At this rate, I will die waiting. People are hopeless, and that is the worst place to be. Hopelessness. I mean, if you lose hope, even your health deteriorates even more. So this is not fair, and it is not good in any way. And page 3, suspect in murder of Wells Fargo boss had criminal past. That's a story on page 3. And page 4, of course, is the story of what Britain and America want from Ruto, asking some really, really tough questions as well.
So we also go to page 6, the D-Day for Kindiki swearing in ruling. We also be following up on how that turns out. And coming down to the county news, I see residents decry neglect as they chip in to repair road. Imagine, like now residents are deciding wacha tu tujijengee hii barabara.
Wacha, let us sort it out.
Wacha tu tujijengee barabara because, and it's, hey jamani, we are seeing residents of Tigithi ward in Laikipia County repair a section of the Tigithi-Ruko Male Road, which has been damaged by rains. The residents began repair works on Sunday following what they said were unfulfilled pledges to maintain the road by local leaders. So a section of Thome ward residents had earlier in the year communally put up a bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. Now the people are working for them, and yet we have leaders and taxes are still being paid, and people don't get to have a second option, even a choice when it comes to that. So it's really, really sad. And still on the county news, women hard hit by GBV and limited access to education, 47% being the poverty rate in Kajiado County, according to a report by the Kenya Human Rights Commission. Today on the DN2 is beyond Nairobi for the real estate firms. Improving infrastructure has seen developers turn focus outside the capital city, where property worth has plateaued. This is a story feature on pages 22 and also 23. 24 here, the lieu of counties where real estate developers are investing beyond the capital. That's actually the story, page 24 and 25, not 22, 24 and 25. So the rising demand for residential and commercial properties in rural counties has been spurred by infrastructural growth, a factor that has in turn seen tremendous appreciation in property prices compared to Nairobi, where values have definitely plateaued. And coming down to the sports page, I see here that Tour of Kenya coming next year, and this is Galazo plans to present a high-quality multiple-stage road race in Kenya in 205, dubbed Safari Cycling Tour. And page 39, Shabana coach Pamzo Omolo goes AWOL. Experienced tactician misses a match and 3 training sessions as club brings in Okidi from Division 1 side Nakuru Backs. That's it for the Daily Nation.
Let's look the Business Daily. How 175 billion shillings roads bond caused rise in fuel prices. Treasury approves roads board's request to issue bond. Trade and Development Bank picked as lead arranger. KTDA Dubai unit loses 122 million tax fight. Then I see an escalation of conflicts in the Middle East could raise the global cost of producing fertilizer in 2025. New World Bank projections showed, castigating a shadow on Kenya's fertilizer subsidy program. And the Competition Authority of Kenya has approved the buyout of National Bank of Kenya by Access Bank on condition that at least 80% of the employees are retained. And I see Scan Group former CEO fight over secret WhatsApp texts. It's on page front page and page 2. I also see the EAC stands at a pivotal juncture in the bid to enhance its trade and economic stature within Africa. It's an article by Bitange Ndemo, and you can read that on page 9. That is what's happening. That's what's being reported in the dailies. A lot happening in our nation. Let's continue to pray for our motherland as well, for the prosperity, for the togetherness, for unity of our nation as well. Right about now, we are taking a short break to pave way for the video of the day.